Howdy. Okay, something's on my mind. Let's get some information out there on sitting and exercise and how chairs are destroying your body and making you lazy and definitely not exercising your body. When you use a chair, when you sleep on a bed, when you sit on a sofa, all these kind of things, they're causing damage to the human body, right? You don't want that. You don't want to cause damage. You want to be doing exercise, because life is exercise, and you can do exercise 24/7 when you think about it. So you want to be exercising 24/7. Learn ways to sit down that are exercise and not on a chair, because a chair makes you lazy, makes the body lazy. It's a fact. Chairs, sofas, these damage, and sitting in cars, these are comfortable, but they cause damage to the human body because they're just not. This is why a huge reason why people get disease, because there's an opportunity for the human body system to be exercising 24/7 by sitting down without using a chair. Think of a chair as like a support, like a band-aid you don't actually need. It's called being lazy, and I mean lazy because it's supporting your body when your body was designed to exercise itself when it sits down. And I'm not perfect with it. I don't sit in chairs unless I have to, one of my family, but when I'm by my room myself, don't use chairs. But I've been doing some exercise today, and I'm going to get back into this in a big way, as a 24/7 exercise, when I'm sitting down to use Facebook, when I'm watching TV, watching DVDs, when I'm in company as well. I've been known to squat and all this stuff, so I'm going to roll through the various ways that you can sit down. And there's not just one thing. You can do a couple of things as a sitting down exercise, not just one thing. There's a couple to make it interesting, right? To make it interesting. You can do any of them. That's fine. So, number one, sitting squatting. That's probably the most hardcore. Depends on where you come from. If you're an Indian person, it's not hardcore at all to sit and squat. It's normal. But if you're a Western nation person, Western culture, which all of us are, then yes, it is weird to sit and squat in public. How do I know? I feel the pressure just like anyone else, because there's a stereotype about sitting and squatting, that it's what poor people do. So whenever I do it in public, I feel weird. It's okay though. It's okay. I'm working through my issues with what other people think of me, but I do, because it's frowned upon in Western culture to sit and squat. I mean, not squatting up and down. I'm not talking about going up and down as an exercise. I'm talking about kind of what I'm doing now, like a permanent sit squat, yeah? With your legs and feet neutral like that, and you're squatting. But for long periods of time. So going up and down is exercise. As squat is a great thing to do. But then what I'm talking about, the sit squat, you can sit in this position I am now with my feet flat. I can do it for quite a long time. And Indian people can do it even longer than me. Point is, you can do it. If you can't do it for a long time, that's okay. It just means that you've got problems with your legs and your mobility, and you just not used your body in a proper way and limbered it up. It's fine. But you can build up like I've done. And I'm not perfect yet, but I can sit quite comfortably for like half an hour in this position. I do get pains after a while, so I'm not an Indian person. I've not been doing it my whole life. I've got damage to my body. But a lot of people are far worse off than me. And you can practice, and it's healthy to sit and squat. Very, very healthy, And it should not be looked down in Western culture. Sadly, it is. It's considered like poor, and only what Asian cultures like India and Philippines and Thailand, all these people do. But the fact is that when you sit and squat, you're doing a lot of beneficial things for your body. And I mean that a lot. Like, it's crazy powerful exercise. That's a mindfuck when you think about it. I mean it. Sitting down can be exercise if you don't use a chair or a sofa, and you just do a sit squat example. But that's just one that you can do, right? That's just one. So you can sit squat, fine. I'm building up towards doing that for long periods. Sometimes I do that in company. Not my parents, they don't like it, but if I'm with friends, so family, I'll do that sometimes. I don't mind. And I've got issues with doing that more in public instead of sitting down on park benches and in train stations and all that shit. I should be You know, I've got to build up towards really just doing whatever I want to do for my health, regardless of what people think of me. So that's something that I'm going to overcome in time. But there's more than that I want to talk about. There's way more than that in terms of variety in ways you can sit that are exercise. So that's number one, and that's probably all you need. But you might not like that. That's fine. That's why it's variety things you do. So sit and squat, easy. You can build up to it. Very powerful medicine. We were designed, I believe, to sit and squat as a chair. We weren't designed for chairs, but more specifically, we were designed to sit and squat permanently as our chair. That's number one. If you don't like that, we can do a variation of that. I'm going to try and show you. I don't know if it's going to come out on the video. So, let's have a look. Literally, what I'm doing now, I don't know if you guys can see. If I can point it so you guys can see. But I'm sitting on my legs. My knees, I'm sitting on my legs. Literally. It's much easier if I could show you what I'm doing, but I don't know how to show it. But yeah, I'm just sitting on my legs and my feet are flat, so my feet aren't up. I'm just sitting on my legs. Now that's exercise too. And again, this is one you're going to find a bit painful depending on your level of health in your lower body, in your muscles and bones. But now, and I did as well at the beginning, but now I can do it quite a long time. So I'm sitting on my legs and my feet. Yeah, just to show you again quickly. I don't know if you guys can see. But yeah, it's not to the side as well. My bum is on my top of my ankles. Yeah, so that's another one. That is kind of like the sit squat. It's very easy to do. It balances your brain hemispheres. It compresses the lower leg. So that's exercise in itself. It feels very comfortable. Once you start practicing, it feels natural, comfortable, same as the sit squat. You can do that for a long period of time. These two, right? Okay, there's another one that you could do whilst you're sitting down as an exercise called the cobbler pose, I think, by the yoga call it the cobbler pose. And I can do it, but I don't know if you guys can. I can control the camera at the same time I do it. But okay, so on this one, I'm gonna bring my feet together. Right, like that. I'm bringing my feet together like that, and I'm pushing my knees down at the same time. So my feet are together right up to the genital area, as close as I can get to my genitals as possible. This is not a permanent one, by the way. And at the same time, I'm pushing my knees down, and I can't do this very well, so my flexibility isn't great, but that's okay. And then I'm holding the camera right now, but what I do normally is I'd wrap my hands, both my hands around, so my feet are touching and as close to the genitals as possible. Then I'd wrap both my hands around the not the ankles, the top of the feet, and then at the same time, I'd push my knees down and put a bit of pressure there. And that's really healthy for the human body, and that's got a lot of benefits. You can just Google benefits of cobbler pose, and that's good for flexibility, and I'm obviously not very flexible in that area, so that's an interesting one. It's not a permanent one. It's not very comfortable like the other two I mentioned, the sit squat and sitting on your legs, but that's an interesting variation, which I like. And then there's another one, which is kind of shorter. This one is not for too long, because it's hard. It's kind of like sitting on your... Oh no, there's another one. Wait, before that, there's... Before this one, there's sitting on your legs, but having your toes, not really sitting your legs, sitting your feet as much as your toes are kind of off the ground. So I don't know if you can see my feet, but my top of my ankles are up, arched up. So now I'm elevated, right? The top of my top of my toes and my big toe are bent a little bit, and the feet are elevated, and my body's up. Now that puts pressure. It's very easy to do this one. This one's very easy. Anyone can do this one. That's fine, but it's still that's what I'm doing now. It's still exercise, because I'm putting pressure on the toes and the big toe of the feet on both sides. When you think about that, that's good medicine too, because in the reflexology they say that the big toes and the big toe and all the toes are the brain. They have the reflexology points related to the brain. So when I'm sitting on my big toes and putting all my weight on my big toes, pretty much, that effectively massages and heals the brain area, the pineal, I've seen a meme about that, the pineal as well. So anything to do with the brain is helped a lot by sitting on your toes and your, you putting your weight on your toes. It's like this. It's very powerful. So that one, very easy. You can do that one forever as well. That's even tamer and much easier for people than the sit squat and sitting on your legs. Those two are kind of going to take practice. They're worth doing for practice, and you can build up slowly. But the one that anyone can do super easy is just put all your weight, kneel down, put all your weight on your big toe and your toes, and that will still do benefits for you. Like I said, it will massage your head area, which is reflex already going for that one. And then the last one I do, doing all these is great actually. You do just one or just mix it up. This is all exercises. The last one I recommend, you're going to struggle to do this longer than a couple of minutes. It's really hard. It's kind of like sitting on your legs, kneeling down, but your feet are going to be splayed to the side. So instead of your feet being underneath your feet being underneath your bum, you're putting your feet to the side of your bum. And that's going to be painful. Trust me, I find it hard, but it's great exercise. So I'm going to demo it, but I don't think you're going to be able to see. But I'll do it. Okay, so I'm doing it now, but I don't think you'll be able to see. Maybe you can see my feet. Can't even see the camera. See, my feet are to the side, they're not underneath. On both sides, my feet are not underneath. My feet are not underneath the bum. Now this is painful. My knees are starting to hurt a little bit. That's all good, It's exercise. This is great exercise for digestive system and all the organs in the abdomen. So very powerful medicine because all your organs really are in the central area here to the genitals. It's not on the legs. Apart from the brains up there. I mean, all this stuff's going to get healed by sitting like this. You'll be able to hold for 2-3 minutes and no longer. And I find it really hard. It's painful, but it's good. I find it very rewarding. The harder it is sometimes, and the more painful, when I come out of it, I feel a lot better because it's more powerful than medicine. It's just the way the world is. Think about exercise. When you really push your muscles and go towards breaking point, you just get more benefits from something. And it's the same with these kind of postures, which I don't recommend you hold for too long because I've overdone it. I can overdo it, and coming out of this when you overdo it is not a nice feeling. In fact, I'll go far as saying that even if I do this for 2 minutes, I don't like the feeling of coming out of it. It's kind of painful. I get stuck in this position. So yeah, I'm going to get out of it. Oh, that one is really good for the knees. Like, oh man. Anyway, yeah, that was it. Sitting. There's the variations of sitting, all of them which you can do for a long time. At least the sitting squat you can practice. Very easy to do. Very easy to do for a long period of time. It's in privacy as well. I mean, I'm not saying do it in public. You're going to be seen as a crazy person, right? Squatting around instead of using a park bench or a chair or on a train or stuff. But you can do it at home instead of using a chair for sure. So sit squat, great exercise. Brilliant. Awesome. Very powerful. Great for digestion. Compresses internal organ. Massage. Great for lymph flow. It's exercise by sitting down. This is the message I want to get. It's exercise. To sit down is exercise if you do it right. If you don't use a chair, don't use a sofa. You can do exercise while you're sitting down. And it's easy. Sit squat. Sit on your legs. Legs flat. Or, another one, which is the easiest of all. Kneel down, but your toes and big toe arched and pressure on the toes. That's a very easy one to do. And then, like I said, splayed the side, and then the cobbler pose as well from the yoga. You can practice that for a couple of minutes, and you've got all bases covered for a lot of variety there of different exercises that you can do to heal your body. And these kind of things are 24/7. That's the great thing. You don't have to do exercise in a certain period of time, like people do that they go to the gym. When you're sitting and doing natural ways of sitting, like I've just talked about, like the sit squat, you're always exercising. You're always exercising. You're using your body's muscles. You're not relying on an artificial support called a chair that's weakening your body system. That will cause you problems down the line and will influence the quality of your stretching, the quality of your muscles, how much they can stretch. It will influence the quality of your yoga, how much you can get out of yoga, how flexible you are in yoga. If you carry on sitting in chairs and you don't do these exercises, you can gain more from yoga when you stop using chairs as much and start doing these things I've told you about, sitting, squatting, all that stuff. So yeah. Alright, just answer comment. Yeah, you don't need a bed. I've gone back to bed sleeping, but I know the benefits of not bed sleeping. So I'm naughty, I'm not perfect. I've been lazy. I'm a lazy person too, in some ways, but it's not good to be in a bed. I know it's not good to be in a bed. So yeah, that's another great one. You think about that, that's quite a good hack as well, because you're spending so much time sleeping, and I've known the benefits, and I've gone through long periods of not sleeping on a bed, and now I just kind of like, I learn in circles. I kind of do something hardcore, then I fall off the wagon and forget about the benefits of something, then I come back to it. So the bed one's could be something I'm going to come back to learn in circles again and start getting used. I'm not scared of it. I don't find it difficult to discipline myself, but I know it's just I'm working so many things, like so many new things in my life. Like that's just an excuse, really. I should really not sleep in bed at all. Yeah, sleep on the floor. Oh, okay, butterfly pose. I thought it was cobbler pose, mate. Okay, that's fair enough. So, yeah, be well. That's what I want to say. Like, use chairs less. In company, if you don't want to be judged, fine. But in private, the very least you can do is to get rid of your chair and to do these exercises and to learn how to sit properly and use your body, and stop all these problems of constipation, lack of digestion, improper lymph flow, all this stuff. It's not needed. The body is its own working machine. It can heal itself, but you've got to stop relying on supports like beds, Harry. At least I didn't do the chairs that much. So yeah, all right, guys. Thank you very much, and I hope you got some value, and I hope you start incorporating some of these little things. Start slow. If you've never done a sit squat, it's painful. Fine, 2 minutes. Start slow, but do it every day. Work it up to a little bit more. Next day, challenge yourself to 5 minutes. Then 7 minutes, 8 minutes. It's not a rush. It's not a game. It's all good, and you'll feel the benefits. You'll feel better. All right. Peace. Thank you very much.